Okay, great. Hello everyone. Me, Sadiq Hussain. I'll be going to be your host for today's session. And most of the people know me. I am a product designer working in the market for 3 years now, and I like regularly run these webinars on and off, talking with some great minds out there, so that we really exchange the knowledge, we really exchange thoughts, and then we bring those insights to everyone, and then giving back to the community as well. So I'm really excited to welcome all of you in today's sessions. So we are going to talk about something really, really interesting, a really exciting thing that every creative person, either they are designer, either they are developer, or it doesn't matter to which field they belong. They basically they eventually think about that how we can transition from freelancing to agency, or how we can basically change our career or transition our career into entrepreneurship, right? And we are going to talk about what really matters in building the business, and that business is going to be recurring, or that business that lost something. So it's a journey that excites everyone, but obviously this journey is full of learning curves as well. So we are going to talk about like how our mind shifts, and that what are the mind shifts that really help us to build these systems, these teams, and these client relationships, the hectic meetings and everything. So to explore this topic, we have like with us Abel. So Abel is basically a successful freelancer, and then he transitioned himself into the business, right? So his story and insights are something that we are going to looking forward today. And again, Abel, thank you so much for joining us today. Before we dive into the complete or into the detailed discussion, I would like for you to basically introduce yourself as well to the amazing audience, that what is your actually the background, how your journey started, and what are you doing right now, or what are you currently working
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you for having me. This is really exciting. Thank you all for being here. Yeah, as Sadiq said, I come from the freelancing world. Before that, I was in a 9 to 5, then transitioned to freelancing. And then eventually I decided to kind of upscale the game and build my first company or agency. Then that agency became kind of um, uh, recurring revenue generating machine, which allowed me to create other businesses. So in a matter of years, I was able to start multiple ventures. Some of them worked, some of them failed. But fast forward to today, I am running a few ventures. Some of them are more on the startup side of things, like products and stuff like that, and other businesses are more on the cash flow generating side. So, and also just clarifying that I have a tech background, so most of my ventures are in the tech space, software development, web design, that kind of stuff. But also now I'm also looking into real estate investment as well. That's kind of a side venture.
Great. That's amazing, and I can really see like how your story evolved. Basically, as you mentioned, that few of them are working, few of them like give you a lesson. So yeah, these like I don't think that we fail. We basically learn from those mistakes. Maybe we do. So it's a great story, and let's start right there. So actually, I really want to know that what were the points like when you realize that now you actually need to build a business instead of
Mhm.
those freelance work, as well as you mentioned that you were a freelancer. So
Right.
what was like the point actually? What was the point?
Yeah. So I guess when I started freelancing, I knew for some reason that I had to build relationships, as many as I can and as authentic as I can. So I started generating a lot of relationships with clients, partners, collaborators, people in my field, and eventually I had a lot of relationships, a lot of inbound leads. So I needed, if I wanted to really say yes to all of them, I needed to build a team. I wasn't able to deliver to all of those clients by myself. So I started kind of hiring quote and unquote friends, but I didn't see myself kind of a leader. I wasn't really believing that I could lead a team, hire people, let people off, like those kind of things. That wasn't really myself. But eventually, I had to really embrace that version of me and do it. And that was kind of the transition, or that was one of the major breakpoints in my career when I really believed that I could actually do it. So I started to say yes to those clients, intentionally build a team, started to have kind of an HR team, a CFO, like a really business kind of setup. And yeah, that grew very fast. That was 2018, 2019. So if you guys were around the freelancing world at that time, that was a very good time to start. So yeah, that grew very fast. So that was kind of uh, the major uh, decision factors to build a business. Yeah.
Great. Great. So as you mentioned that in somewhere you were thinking that you are not a great leader, or maybe there was maybe a bit hard situation to build the relationship with the clients to bring them into the recurring business. So do you think
Mhm.
it was that? Do you think it was just a planned decision somewhere, or it was just like an evolved naturally over the time as you were doing the freelancing?
Oh, it took a while. Took years actually for me to believe that I could do it. Actually, when I talk to freelancers and I ask them why they don't really scale up their game, most
Yeah.
of them say, "Well, I am not really an entrepreneur kind of person. I am not really a business guy. I don't know about sales. I don't know about hiring.
Hmm.
Most people don't really believe it. And for me, going through the process of uh, realizing that I was actually doing those kind of stuff, like freelancers, they do sales. If you are a freelancer,
Yes.
you have to go talk to clients, you have to promote your services. So you actually do sales stuff. And I was doing that. I was asking friends for help and delegating some of my work. I did know what kind of um, tasks I could delegate and which tasks I had to do myself. So, uh, really realizing that I was doing those things was kind of a revelation for me. But for, I would say, Sadiq, maybe 2, 3 years, I didn't actually see myself as the guy doing that stuff. I had kind of a,
Yeah, I can understand.
syndrome, uh, imposter syndrome. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
so basically, yeah, that was my next question actually as well. Like when we are like transitioning ourselves right from freelancing to into the business or maybe
yeah,
agency. So the major part is team building, right? And other
yeah.
part, another thing that we need to like really consider is trusting the team because when we are
Oh,
hiring,
yeah,
we don't know like what kind of a person he is, right? Or he or
yeah.
she is. So we really need to like give him the transit is like the trust and also like self like we don't know what kind of self responsibility they own actually, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
what was actually the biggest mind shift for you, like when you converted into the business and when you hired them? So, what was the biggest mind shift, and was there any fear or any hesitation to give them the trust, that responsibility? Was there anything popping up in your mind as well? And how did you cope up that situation, basically?
yeah. That's actually a great question. So, when you are a freelancer, your delivery is key. If
Yeah,
deliver something wrong or poorly, clients will leave you a poor review on Upwork or whatever you guys work, and
yeah,
that's destroying that. That's a nightmare. So naturally, we are very careful about our delivery. So,
yeah,
and
actually,
we trust ourselves because we have built a freelancing business. Uh, you guys know how difficult that is, how much effort it takes, how many hours it takes. So naturally, you are very careful about that. And delegating is hard. So you know that if you deliver poorly, the client will leave you a poor review, and that has catastrophic consequences. So you don't want to even have the risk, like assume the risk of that
yeah,
happening. But at some point, we need to take those risks because delegating is actually the ability to delegate is the most important skill to grow because you cannot do much more than what your hands do, right? So you need more hands, you need more people. So you need to
yeah.
start trusting. Hopefully or luckily, my first hires were super amazing. So I started hiring friends, people that I knew, so I knew that they could deliver. Actually, my first hire was the person that taught me like coding and programming. So
Oh,
I
great.
knew that he was actually better than myself. So it was
Yeah,
kind of easy. But then, yeah, it takes time. I don't know exactly what kind of um, mindset shift I had that enabled me to delegate more and more. I would say, that's a kind of a muscle that you train. And it's a little bit of a trade-off, between trusting each other or the other person and really making sure that you are clear about what you are delegating, what the outcomes that you are expecting are, and, having a very clear communication. Um,
great.
yeah,
Yeah, it sound interesting, and the major thing that came up to me is basically hiring right from the friend circle, like right from that circle which actually we know really well, and then we basically consider that they are going to deliver on time. So
yeah,
delivery is basically the main important part, obviously, when it comes to freelancing or whenever it comes uh, to the building the business, right? So was there any specific challenge, especially related to these time limitations or delivering or just shipping it really quickly at that
mm,
time you faced? And if you faced and then you handle it, obviously, and then that's why you are like now at the stage. So I just want to like shape this question in a way, because if you face those challenges, like considering right now and then at that time as well, so what
mhm,
will you do differently, basically? Because I really want
yeah.
like to know that from both perspective, the day you were facing and right now. I want to take this for audience because they don't repeat, so they are not going to repeat
Yeah,
those mistakes, and maybe the like they know the pattern.
yeah. Well, actually, one of the things that I learned from experience is that when I was, coding software, I was pretty fast, right? So I
Okay.
knew that I could do something in days. So whenever I coded the project, I had that in mind. My speed to delivery, and the quality that I was expecting within that timeline. The problem, though, is that that is not necessarily true for another person. Even as I said, I hired my one of my best friends, super smart guy, but he worked different than I. So he may took a little bit longer to deliver something. Maybe he added a few tests or he did something different, maybe better, but the timeline was different. So something that I would do if I had to start over again is to really involve them, or asking about their opinion when quoting the projects, when going through the estimation process. Because one of the mistakes that I made was underestimating time for projects, and then being like under fire and having to jump myself into solving the problem. And it was kind of very stressing. And yeah, I think that is one of the main challenges when you guys start delegating. You delegate with your experience in mind, like how much it takes to do something. The solution before actually coding it, so how to solve the problem. You have all the details from the clients, but how do you communicate all of that very clearly to the team so that now you can relax? And
Yeah.
something that I want to clarify is that when I became better at delegating, I was able, and right now I'm able to delegate something, go to the beach, relax, put my phone on, um, like on silence. And when come back, I come back to something that is finished and delivered. So I can now really delegate and make sure that that's going to be done by the end of the day. So that doesn't happen magically, but that's something that is possible. That like fully delegating and trusting the team to deliver. That's something that can happen. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. So the two key takeaways right from this answer for me is basically like how we are communicating with the clients, and then how we are communicating with our like team as well, and then how we
Mhm.
are looking at the delegating of that task to the specific person, and then their abilities as well, right? So,
Yeah.
like my next question is something like really follow up this to this discussion is how we are then going to consider the discernment, like what they have done, and then how we are going to maintain the quality actually as well. Because like the reason behind asking this question is in Pakistan, or specifically in the Asian region, we see
Mhm.
like people take like they are not really keen into taking the responsibility and taking the ownership of that delegated task
Right.
as well, right? So uh,
Mhm.
I think this is basically a psychological problem. I'm not sure. I think people can agree with me. If you guys are, please thumbs up. That we usually lack like taking the ownership of that responsibility, or we face this issue as well. So, what are your thoughts, and how we can basically cope up this thing? Like how we can inspire them to take the responsibility and take the ownership of that project as well, like to basically specify person.
Yeah. No, that's actually a great question. And so when I transitioned to the agency model, I hired people from all over the world, mainly from Latin America. As you guys know, Latin America is big, so you have a lot of different cultures. Even though we are pretty similar to each other, we speak the same language in mostly in Latin America. We are different, so you'll find different cultures, people that are better at taking ownership of things, and people that are not so good. So to me, um, I think one of the biggest mindset shifts that I went through when transitioned to being a solo freelancer to having a team working with me is that you have to start building systems, right? So when you are a freelancer, you wake up. If you have a project ongoing, you just work on that until you deliver, you get paid, you get a good review, you start coding for projects again, right? It's kind of a,
Yeah.
very sequential kind of workflow. But then when
Hmm.
you transition to building a business, you have to build systems, a system to get new business on a regular basis, a system for fulfilling your
Yeah.
whatever you offer, your services, products, whatever, a system for hiring people and to keep everyone happy and paying salaries, system for whatever, accounting, banking, all of that. So you have to start building those components that talk to each other, and in the whole they you know represent the business. So in terms of uh, hiring and making sure that the people that you hire they deliver, you have to build a delivery system, right. And
Great.
also uh, what I learned, especially here in Latin America, and maybe this is uh, applies to the rest of the world. We people work for money. We just show up because we need money. Uh, I don't. I haven't found a person that just works for the fun of it, right? So we work for
Yeah.
money. So something that I did and works very well is to build, a motivation system. So if you deliver and I'm happy with your delivery, you get paid. That's it's like the very basic kind of motivation. You don't, this is the bar, like this is the acceptance criteria. Do you meet that? You get paid. You don't get paid, right? That's very
Yeah.
first. And that's not a bad thing to say, right? So you're a business owner now. You have a lot of responsibilities. You have a client to keep happy. So you need kind of that uh, value exchange. So I
Yeah.
pay you to deliver this outcome because the client pays me if we deliver. So I need you to deliver, right? So that's very first. But then what I found out is that, especially for younger people in Latin America, they wanted to even make more money, right? So how can you motivate them to make more money and deliver more value to your business? And small clarification here, uh, I am not a very materialistic person. I don't care about money, but
Yeah.
businesses exist to make money, and the more money they make, the better. So we want money at the end of the day. So how do you, I mean, adding value to your business means that your business now makes more money. So how can you build a system for people to over delivery because they are motivated to make more money? And that over delivery means that your business is going to make more money. So everyone's happy,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah. I
I,
understand.
I, I know that there are some strong cultures and people and all over people, uh, there are lazy people or people that work a little bit more. But to me, at the end of the day, it's all about the efficiency of the systems that you build. Can you build a system that motivates people to deliver more and with better quality? If so, that should uh, cut through culture and all of that. I don't know
Yeah.
if
I
I
understand.
was maybe too
Yeah.
too
I
rambling.
really understand. I got the point basically, and I think end of the day, the reward or maybe the point that really keeping everyone motivated is basically we need money end of the day. So that was the point actually that we
Yeah.
really need to consider. So you mentioned basically to do the delivery or to generate this money, obviously like to whom we are going to pay or maybe client is paying us to run the business or to generate that recurring business,
Mhm.
we really need to build the system. That was you mentioned. So very good
Yes.
point. So, but was there any misconception basically while following the process to build the system? Was there any misconception as like when we are transitioning or when we are basically looking at that specific relationship with the clients, right?
Mhm.
So we majorly see like some people's they are uh, obviously like not that materialistic person or maybe they are materialistic person, so these were works differently, but sometimes they like prefer that okay, so this is our client, we are like giving a more priority the relationship and we are charging
Mhm.
them less first time, or maybe sometimes we face this thing by the client as well that they say we are into the relationship, so work for the less money first time, and then we will in the next task we will be paying you more as well. So these type of misconceptions are maybe different ways. So what was there anything as well you faced, and then how you coped up basically? Is there any story?
Um, so I think one of the biggest misconceptions that we freelancers have is that we believe that building a business is strange to us, right? Something,
Mhm.
that only Silicon Valley guys do. Like, yeah. So,
Yeah.
one exercise that I like to do in my training program is that I ask people to write a few sentences to describe what an entrepreneur is, a business person is,
Oh,
right?
that's amazing. Yeah.
And it's very fun because they say, well, they live in the US, they are 25, they have a master's degree in whatever, they make 200,000 a year, they wear very cool sunglasses, whatever, right? So we
Mhm.
have kind of a stereotype of what an entrepreneur is. And we
Yeah, I
believe that
understand.
an entrepreneur is that kind of cool guy, super extrovert,
Yeah.
the guy that got all the girls. That's not true, right? I am one of the most introvert person in the world, and yet I was able to build the relationships and do the work and build the businesses. So I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions we have. We are prepared to build a business. Actually, freelancing is not for everyone, guys. So freelancing is for only people that take the courage of waking up and say, you know what? I'm gonna build my own path. I'm gonna make as much money as I want. And I'm gonna deal with clients. I'm gonna deal with bad reviews. I'm gonna deal with clients that are late for payment. That requires a lot of courage. So coming back to my personal story, I think that was one of the biggest, misconceptions. I was not believing what I was actually doing. And in terms of clients, which was your question, we believe that we don't really know how to find clients. And yet we make money because we were able to find clients. If you guys are
Yeah.
freelancers and you make money, you have clients. Otherwise, you wouldn't be making money. So how can you find even more clients? And the answer is very easy. So imagine that now you only work at finding clients. You don't really work at coding or designing or whatever you guys do. You work full time on finding clients. So, you know, that could make you, I don't know, 4 or 5 times more clients. So that can mean that you can make 4 or 5 times your income, right? And then you build the systems to make sure that you deliver. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that was one of the things that I had to change in my mind to really understand how to scale from freelancing to building a scalable business and making not linearly but exponentially more money that I could make by my own. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, I got some question, and the interesting thing is like you mentioned who is actually the entrepreneur. So I was talking to someone else as well. The guy was basically like from California. So just we were discussing the casual stuff, and like the same question we asked each other. So what is actually the entrepreneur? So he just replied me, and that was the point actually hit me. He mentioned an introvert person sitting in a room and solving really small problems of the
Yeah.
peoples that are really helping them other person to grow. So that is basically that was like his thoughts that who is actually the entrepreneur. So yeah, I got that both like dots are connected. So great.
Yeah.
So my next question is something again, right? The follow up of this question is like when we become the business owner, or when we convert, or when we transition ourselves right from freelancer to business, right?
Hmm.
So that client acquisition is the major thing now, right? So
Yeah.
what are the basically strategies, or what are the changes that you applied in your build in your system to do that client acquisition? Or what was your strategy in this step?
Yeah. Yeah. So what I did was, as I told you guys, when I started kind of hiring people, uh, like technically hire them, I hired only 2 or 3. I didn't hire like a full 10-person team. Not
Mhm.
until I got a major project, which happened very quickly after that. But I started with just a few people, and um, so what I did required a little bit of a sacrifice in my income. So my income wasn't really mine anymore. I was using most of it to pay to the people that was working with me. But what I did was using all of my energies to make sure that they learned my kind of delivery method, right?
Okay.
So this is kind of the sweet spot of the projects that I work with. And also that's a small note there. We all have kind of those sweet spot projects that we know that we can deliver super quickly with, you know, little effort and makes good money, right? So that's a sweet spot. That's what we later turn into the value proposition of our business.
Oh, great.
But anyway, what I did was really making sure that my team knew how I liked to deliver the projects to the clients. So, hey guys, this is the project we have. We have to deliver this, and that. These are kind of the deliverables that we have to deliver. And I spent all of my time working on that. Um, Luckily, after a few weeks, the team was like up and running. They knew exactly what they had to do. They even, suggested very cool things. Maybe, hey, why don't we add this collaborative tool? Because when you work by yourself, you don't really collaborate with anyone. You just
Yeah,
do it
exactly.
yourself. So we had to, set up Slack, workspace, maybe some meetings, whatever. So after a few weeks, I was able to just find the clients, present the project to the team, and just oversee that everything was, good to go. And then I was free. So I started to use that free time to find more clients. So there is a bit of a, chicken and egg problem there, because do you hire people before you get more clients or do you get more clients and then hire? I did the latest. So I got more clients before I hired more people, which meant that at some point, myself and my team, we had more work than the hours we can spend on the day. So we were kind of, on fire. But that was also kind of a good learning experience for all of us. And eventually we hired more people and, we got a good balance. Um, Sorry, I actually lost track of your initial question.
Yeah, so basically, like my initial question was like, what were your strategy to building those client acquisition? But yeah,
Oh, yeah,
somehow you, yeah, so you answered that part. But like
yeah,
as you mentioned that you hired 2 to 3 person
yeah,
initially, and then you were giving like self-sacrification as well, right? So
yeah.
just again, just to boost up the energy, how you were dealing the pressure because in these situations like when we had 2 to 3 person and then when we basically when we have like deliverables on our head as well, so how basically you coped up those like personal pressure and
No.
tension. So basically if I just ask in a more fun way, so how many cup of coffee you were taking in
No.
a day?
Yeah. A lot of coffee, guys. Yeah, a lot of coffee. Uh, so usually when people ask that kind of question, like how do you cope with pressure, or how do you cope with a project that goes sideways, they don't actually want an answer. They just want to know uh, what am what am I prepare? What do I have to prepare for? Right? How hard
Yeah, yeah.
is this? Right? So
Yes.
there is no answer to how do you cope with pressure. I mean, I can tell you to meditate or
Just a second. Yeah, you are. Sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
So um, anyway, so there is no answer for that. Oh, whatever that you do to be calm, just do it, right? But
yes,
the honest question is, if you really want to scale up your game, you're gonna have to deal with pressure. You're gonna have to deal with angry clients.
yeah,
You're gonna have to deal with people that don't do what they say, or people that say, "Hey, you know what? I just got an offer for $1 more, and see you later," and they just leave you,
yeah.
and it's
So
okay. I mean, that's all part of the game. The good news is that this is a muscle, right? So you learn to deal with that kind of stuff. Actually, this morning we got a very unfortunate email saying that one of our major projects is going to is
oh,
canceled. So, if this was maybe 10 years ago, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, this is a disaster. And I was like, yeah, sure, this happens, right? So we can find another project, and what's the
yeah,
problem? So it's really like a muscle that you can train. Problems do exist. The bigger the company, the bigger the problems. But you know what? It's worth it. I would choose this any day. Building your own path, and also um, the more you learn about systems and about scaling, the more freedom you have, the more income you have, the more profit you have on that revenue. The happier the team, the better you hires are. So it's at the end of the day, it's um, I always like to say this, although it's a little bit extreme, but I have a 5-year-old son, and
Okay.
it's kind of being a father. It's great, it's lovely. We all love children, but they are kind
Yeah.
of a nightmare sometimes. All right,
Yeah.
they don't
Understand.
leave you sleep. They are crying. They are doing. My son today hit the TV with the broom, so they're kind of chaotic sometimes, but at the end of the day, the balance is it's good, it's positive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great, great. It's so nice, and we are wishing luck for him as well to be another person transitioning from freelancing to the business. But yeah, so the major question that I got, out of 10, when I asked, like out of 10 people, 8 were asking how basically we can get the recurring client, the big ticket clients, and what are the
yeah,
strategies, and how, where from we can find those clients as well. So that is actually the main question this session is like revolving around that single question. So
yeah, yeah,
I really want to know your techniques, strategies, and the platform. So where from you are finding those clients as well.
yeah, yeah. No, that's actually a great question. It took me years to find an answer, although there are many answers to that question. Every company does that differently.
Yeah.
So a note there, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in lead generation, client acquisition techniques, Google Ads, all sorts of marketing initiatives, multiple trips to or tours to the US. Like I spent a lot of money on that just to realize that people were buying to me. They were trusting me, and then they were trusting the company, which happened from day one, which happens right now. So if you guys have clients, those clients trust you. If you work on Upwork or some of those freelancing platforms, even if you don't work through a platform and you just offer your services through LinkedIn or whatever that is, you got your clients trust in your name. Your name is your branding, right? So that cost me a lot of money to realize, right? So yes, Alice says the power of connections, real ones. That's the key. So I started to build connections just for the sake of networking, and that eventually led to one client, more clients, referrals, things like that. However, how do you scale that game? Because you want to scale exponentially.
Yeah.
So there are a few techniques that I used that work. So first of all, as you guys know, I'm from Argentina, from Latin America. So business don't really happen here. So I had to travel to the States. So um, something that I learned there is that whenever you quote a project going forward, being a business, you have to overquote because now you don't quote to deliver the product. You quote to making sure that your business exists and grows. So you need to make sure that you have some caution money in case things go sideways. You have to have a budget for marketing, for sales, things like that, right? So I eventually had a budget for trips to the US, which I consider that to be an essential part of my business. If I wanted to really make more money and grow my business, I had to be present in the States, show my face, show that I actually exist, that I'm not kind of a freelancer, in whatever Argentina is. My
Yeah.
first trips, people didn't actually know which language we speak in Argentina. So it was kind of, like an interesting experience. But travels to the States, going to major events, Money Money in Las Vegas, Dev Connect. like AWS Summit, like events that are relevant to your industry. They are chaotic, they are very expensive, very stressing, tiring, but you come up with maybe 50, 100 new connections. Then you have to follow up, and eventually you turn them into clients. And then another thing that really worked for me was hosting my own events.
Oh, great.
In person is better. Actually, I moved to Canada a few years ago, so I host events in Vancouver, Canada, and
Mm,
you know, by letting people to see you on a regular basis, they start remembering your name. They start calling you by your name, and you start
yeah,
being in within their trust circle. So that is all, I think, what the game is about, trust. Do they trust you to really give you this, $50,000 project? Will you
yeah,
deliver? Do I know your friends? Do we have friends in common? So yeah, networking is my method so far. Um, and yeah, lead generation stuff, cold email, cold outreach. I tried all of that. I spent big money on that, and
mm,
didn't really work. Yeah, at all.
great. Yeah. So basically, like the one line for every freelancer out there is like considering who want to generate like business, the recurring business, like your network is your network. So I think
Yeah.
that really works, right?
Mhm.
Personal branding. The one major part you mentioned is like your name need to be your branding, right? So
Yeah.
that personal branding, networking, the content creations, they basically play a major role in our journey, right? But
Yes.
we see like it, there's a competitive market out there, right? We see a lot of competitions going around, right?
Yeah.
So how basically like we need to build that credibility, that trust, and then uh, what were actually the points or maybe the techniques which help you to attract that higher quality clients as well. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's probably the last question of this session, but I really want to know the techniques.
Yeah.
Was there anything specifically?
Not really. Sorry to break this to you guys, but there is no secret sauce to networking. So you have to be you have to be authentic and
Mm,
just network for the sake of network. So when you know a person, you meet a person, you just ask
yeah,
them what they do on the weekends. Do we have something in common? Do you play soccer? Oh, do you know Messi? Yeah, he's from Argentina,
yeah,
right? So we start talking about that stuff. And then you don't follow up with, hey, you know what? I deliver this kind of service because that's when you kill a connection. You just keep connected for the sake of just having a laugh with someone, having a nice conversation. Um, and also something that I've been doing as well is, can I provide any value to my network? And that
yeah,
doesn't mean at all sending a white paper. People don't read white papers. I don't know why marketing guys like those
yeah,
downloadable PDF that no one reads. That's not providing any value. Real value is, hey, you know what? I know this guy and he's actually looking to hire a marketing person. And since you are in marketing, I thought that I might introduce you guys. That, would that be okay? Sure. You make the intro, they start making money, and you don't get a commission. You just added that value to two connections of your network. That's gonna go a long way, you know. And that's how
yeah,
you build and big and grow a network. And then, of course, personal branding. Uh, you know, your presence on social media. You have to have a presence in social media. I hate social media. I don't even have an Instagram account. But if you go on my LinkedIn profile, I post almost daily. I put pictures of myself with my family doing crazy stuff. So I don't really like that. I'm not an extrovert again, but that's kind of part of the game. People will buy to you, not to your cool company
Yeah,
branding. They will trust you, so you have to be out there. Build connections, be patient. The good thing is that if you guys are already freelancing, you already have clients, you already have a track record, you already have potentially a few hundreds of connections, meaningful connections. So it's
yeah.
just about the intention of growing your business
Great,
and
great.
showing
So
up every day.
yeah,
Yeah.
I really understand. So basically, like one thing I learned from some book. I don't remember that exact name. Sorry for that, but there was like showing up yourself, and then even when we are showing up like ourselves, we basically generate the energy, we generate the emotions, right? We generate the vibes, and then those vibes need to match the people, and then when vibes and those emotions through social media, your personal branding, where from ever those vibes match, then you connect, then you share, try to talk, and then share something common, and then that's how you basically build the relationship, and then converting that relationship into the business and everything as well.
Yeah.
So it sounds interesting. Uh, thank you so much, Abel. It was really nice. It was really insightful talking to you. The
Yeah,
journey,
likewise.
the thoughts you shared, and I'm really hopeful that everyone out there picked up something valuable, a lesson, a growth, a mindset, or anything. The final like closing remarks, I really want you to give any one piece of advice to someone who is dreaming in his her mind to start their own business. So just closing those remarks. And yeah,
Yeah,
one more thing. Sorry,
sure.
sorry for interruption. In case if you guys have any question, please either type in the chat box so that we can answer them, or maybe we will be giving you like 2 to 3 minutes, as we have like 3 more minutes. So you guys can answer your question directly as well. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, actually, there's a question here that I would like to answer if that's okay.
Yeah,
As
that's
an
great. That's great.
introvert, what was it like to pitch into your first clients? So this question is very good because I think this is kind of what it takes to go through freelancing to building a business. So we believe that extroverts are in sales and extroverts make money, and it's quite the opposite, right? Because
Yeah,
extroverts are good at talking to people about the weather, right? If we meet on the street, I can assure you, I am not talking about the weather. I don't know how to do small talk. I just, I'm not good at that. I won't do it because I suck at it. But I'm good at, just if just reading people, right? Just having a meaningful connection about a conversation about something. And that is
mm,
usually what it takes for a business person to understand the other person's
yeah,
problem. And when you understand the other person's problem, you can now pitch a solution. So, as an introvert, you are better at reading people. You are not super comfortable on, that kind of meetup setup, but you are
mm,
comfortable with one-on-one conversations. And when you pitch to anyone, it doesn't really sound like a pitch because you are not an extrovert, like, waving your hands. You are having a true conversation with someone and
yeah,
just offering something out of your, niceness, right? You are not
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
sell, you are
Understand.
trying to offer a real solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were having two hand raised. In case you guys have your question, please try to keep your question very precise. So because we are on the time. Nashra Maksud, please, in case if you have any question, go ahead. And then we have like question. There was one hand raised by Abdul Muiz, I believe. So yeah, Nashra, go ahead, please, in case if you have any question.
Thank you. Hi, Abel. My quick
Hi.
question is, for those people who are already doing the freelancing, they have the option to convert their traffic to their own personal branding site and get the orders and generate the business. But what are your suggestions for those who are already struggling with the 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 job, and they do not
Mhm.
have any exposure with the freelancing? So, but behind the mind, we do have the plans to start a personal branding. So, how we can get those traffics from the other platforms to generate the business initially on a very low scale?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for that. So actually, and by the way, I offer a training program on that matter. So if you guys want, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I have an 8-week training program to teach people how to go freelancing from a 9 to 5. And this also works for people that are currently freelancing and want to scale up their games as well. So feel free to check it out, just in case that's useful. Anyway, answering to your question, uh, to me is all about finding that kind of sweet spot. So if you're already freelancing, you know what that sweet spot is. So you know what kind of projects you like and what kind of projects you can deliver with less effort and make more money. So you already have your offer there. It's just about how to package that offer and sell it as much as you can. If you don't, if you are on a 9 to 5 or worse in a 9 to 6, it's about figuring out what you can offer. And actually, I posted a lot of content lately on LinkedIn. You can check it out. But the first step is defining what you can offer. And that's usually not what your degree says you do. So you may have a, I don't know, but let's say you have a computer science degree, you are a coder, that's not exactly what you offer or necessarily what you have to offer. So what does make you you? What does it make you unique? So chances are that you are good at, I don't know, organizing events, or maybe you are a very sensitive person, or maybe you are good with social media, whatever. So the idea is that you write down all your skills, traits, everything that people say that you are good at, even what your mom said. So write that down, and then how do you combine those skills in a way that you can build an offer that people pay for? And just to give you an example, one of the designers in my group, she's a great designer, has a lot of experience in design. However, because of the personal circumstances that she went through in her life, she's helping immigrants landing in a new country, finding jobs, right? So it's completely out of the design world, although she's using some of the design components into her offer. But it's all about finding something that you can deliver with your uniqueness that people are willing to pay for. I hope that
Yeah.
answers your question.
Great. That was again great question. So the next one was Abdul Moiz. So Abdul Moiz, do you have like any question? In case yes, please unmute yourself. Otherwise, we are up on time. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining. It was really nice to have you all here. Please just show us something in form of reaction so that we know that you guys are there and lovely to catch up. And again, I'm again thankful to Abel for taking time, and then it was clear to having you with us today, sharing your thoughts with us. Yeah, so
Likewise, it was a
that's
pleasure. Thank you for having me, guys.
and yeah. So also one more thing that I really want to mention is please do connect with him on LinkedIn as he has shared his LinkedIn URL, but he also provides like the session on ADP list as well. I was looking at those links. So
Yeah.
you, in case if you want to book any session, please you can get in touch with him. And the one more thing that really hit me was you have like read around 50 plus or 100, like in between 50 to 100 books. So please, in case if you just want to mention any one or two books that can really help our audience as well. And with this, we
Oh
will be
yeah.
taking off and signing off.
Yeah. No. So wow, maybe $100 million offers. That's a great book to build an offer by Alex Hormozy.
Yeah.
And the other one is Outliers. It's a different kind of book, but it talks about how you don't have to be great at something to actually become great at something. It just, showing up, as someone in the chat said, showing up every day and doing like a 1% improvement every day. So yeah, Outliers and $100 million
Okay.
offers.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. You guys can share your learning or takeaways from this session on LinkedIn or wherever. Please do tag me and then tag Abel
Yeah.
as well. We would love to hear what you guys learned today. And we will be sharing the highlights and the learning of these sessions later on as well, accordingly. So, yeah, with this, we are wishing you a luck, and hopefully, you guys will be enjoying your days and taking care of your health and your mental peace as well. So signing off. Thank you and bye bye.
See you guys. Thank you. Have a great day.